Hey, what's going on, Boise State fans? Happy Monday to you. Greetings and welcome on in. Bronco Nation News Live, presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. They've got that great concrete coating special going, 10% off. Reach out to them. It's ROEPaint.com. You can see the logo there on the screen. Appreciate their support and sponsorship of Bronco Nation News, RowPaint.com, power and people, pride in painting. It's our weekly Mondays with Mallory segment. We got John Mallory in studio already. 95.3 FM, The Ticket, KTIK, our partnership. You can see the Prater in the ball. You're decorating the studio a little bit now that you're on TV, Johnny. I like it.
We are, man. Prater put that sign, Prater in the ball game, up behind me, I noticed, for his hit last week. And this is the first time I've been here in our glorious studio, BJ, in over a week. You know, we got hit with COVID here on our team, and it's good to be back in the studio. And oh, man, I just wish we had something to talk about, huh?
No joke. Before we go any further, because I know fans would like, maybe we could just spend our whole 30 minutes doing this. Let's just watch Marcus Shaver's three-pointer and enjoy it. Tie game, 45 seconds left. Boise State has the ball, and they decide to let it go. Johnny, no timeout again, and they set the play. Shaver comes off the screen, and here you go, folks. That was my view courtside there, Johnny. The players taunting some of the fans. They were getting into it during the game. There was a little bit of trash talking going on from the fans behind me to some of the players on the bench. But Marcus Shaver, second game in a row, he hits the – and we could just keep that on repeat, Johnny, and I know Boise State fans would be happy with that. But just your general thoughts, man. 42-37. It wasn't the prettiest offensive game. Maybe it wasn't the prettiest game at all, whether it was great defense, bad shooting. In the end, it's not going to matter. What matters is the win. I mean, whether it was 198 or 2-0, Boise State leaves with just their third win all time at Viejas Arena. 12 wins in a row, going for the school record tomorrow. They'll try to tie it with 13. This team's on a roll, John Mallory, and that game Saturday night was just the latest example where it just made you go, wow.
You know, I'll steal a line from the movie Men in Black, Will Smith, BJ. That's like tracking down a cephalopoid on foot, winning in the Viejas. Nobody wins there, man. Like, this team just continues to check boxes along the way on what is turning into a very special journey for this basketball team. They win games. They play excruciatingly tough defense for their opponents. They have certain players who make big shots in even bigger moments. And I know football season is coming to a close at the professional level. And kind of for me, once the NFL kind of ends, I deep dive into college hoops, man. That's when college football for me takes over, beginning of February. And Leon has put this team in another terrific position to set itself up for a lot of smiles in this town come Selection Sunday. I can't look at this. I'm sorry. I'm going to bring up the tournament. That's what you do in college basketball, man. That's the only thing that matters, right? Are you on a bracket line in March when everybody's passing their brackets around? And the way this team is going, they put themselves in a really good position to be on one of those lines, BJ, come Selection Sunday. There's a lot of tough games. You mentioned tomorrow. That's just going to be so sweet. At Extra Mile Arena, that matchup, I love everything about it. But this team, here they go. I didn't accept 5 for 5 in 11 days in 5 different states. What a run this team is on. And I think this is a team, BJ, that the fans are going to be able to get behind because they play defense. It's a likable group of kids. And here we go, coming off a down year in football in this town. 7-5 doesn't cut it. Basketball, pick up some of that slack this year, Leon, and give this fans, throw them that big fat bone to chew on over the next 2 months. And I think they're going to have some fun chewing on that sucker, BJ.
And we'll talk about tomorrow's game here in a little bit. Let's stay in the current first. Janet does chime in. Go Broncos. You can get your comments in, your questions in, whether you're on the Facebook, the YouTube channels. If you've got a TV and you have a smart TV with the YouTube app, folks, you can just watch me and Johnny full screen on your TV while you're having breakfast this morning or at work if you want. You can just, the post-game shows, the pre-game shows, all that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channels, and you can literally pull it up and watch us like it's a regular TV show on your house TV. So we're doing a lot of cool things there, and it's fun. And I'm going to play some other highlights, Johnny, while we talk about this game, just in the background. These are some highlights from the game the other night, and you think about it, Johnny, 42 points and they won. In that Bakersfield game back in November, they had 39 points and lost. It's crazy to think of the difference of the two games. You lose 46-39 to Bakersfield, and it's a terrible, one of the worst games in the program history. You win this one 42-37, and you say it's one of the best wins in several years for Boise State. Kind of crazy to think about that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, San Diego State, I mean, they go to the tournament just about every year, and they're really good at home. What stood out to me about this game, and I guarantee you Coach Dutcher and his staff, they probably had to look 2 or 3 times at the overall score sheet because, BJ, I don't think I've ever seen this, okay, ever. And I've looked at a lot of box scores. San Diego State on Saturday shot 28% from the field. They shot 21% from the three-point line, and they shot 20% from the free throw line. I've never seen a team on the 3 major shooting categories be below 30% in all 3. Now, oh my God, Leon's defense. Whoa, what is this, the 85 Bears out here? I don't know if I credit the defense that much. San Diego State, the one bugaboo it's had like forever is they just never find shooters. They can't hit big shots in big games. That's why they can never get out of the Sweet 16 round other than the Kawhi Leonard. They don't have that score. They never really have. Malachi Flynn was pretty good. But, BJ, I can't believe it. I had to look at the numbers again today. 28% from the field, 21% from the three-point line, and 20% from the free throw line. How does a team shoot that poorly? I've never seen it.
And the one that stands out to me is that you mentioned the free throw line. They're only 1 of 5. At home at Viejas Arena, they only shot 5 free throws. How does that happen?
How does our Moosh go scoreless, right? It was a weird game. Boise State wins without the big fella scoring a single point. Armouche goose-egged it, and Boise State still won.
Tony's telling you to calm down, John.
Never heard that one before.
We love the energy on a Monday morning. He already got his check for January, so he feels like he has to bring it, folks. He's got to live up to it since I already paid him. But just this game, Johnny, there were so many different things. San Diego State had 3 droughts of at least 5 minutes. They didn't score their first point until there was like 15 minutes left in the game. And they do this thing in San Diego. I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast where the fans stand and they just kind of keep clapping, clap, until they score. And they had to go through 2 timeouts and then start clapping again after the timeout. And it was like almost getting embarrassing. This old guy behind me was like, my knees can't take much more of this, Boise. Just give us a point. I mean, it was bad. They had 3 droughts of at least 5 minutes that they didn't score. And then in the second half, they go without a field goal for literally almost half of the first half. They didn't get their first field goal till there was 10. What I have in my notes here. Their first point came at the 14:35 mark. And then they got their first bucket, 9:48. 9:48 to go in the game was their first bucket of the second half for San Diego State. So the San Diego State had 1 point in the second half until there was 9:48 left in the half. So over half. And then literally at the exact same time, Boise State stopped scoring. And Boise State went from 10:55. They were leading 35-24, Johnny. They're up 11 points with 10:55 to go. And you think this game is over. And Boise State did not score until those Tyson Degenhart free throws. 9:51 without a point for Boise State. So you literally had one team go the first half of the half without scoring. Boise State go the second half. Somehow Boise State goes nearly 10 minutes without scoring and is only down by 2 when Tyson Degenhart makes those 2 free throws with 1 minute and 4 seconds left to tie the game. And then Boise State gets the ball back and has the shot to win it with Shaver, and Shaver does it. And what can you say about Marcus Shaver now, Johnny? 2 games in a row. He's hit the game-winning three-pointer. We've had good days, in our lives, Johnny. I don't know if I've had, you can top that. But 2 times in 3 days, 2 times in less than 48 hours, game-winning shots on the road to silence a crowd. Pretty impressive last couple of days for Marcus Shaver Jr.
Yeah, I said this with Prater on Idaho Sports Talk on Friday, and that was before the second shot, right? With Big Shot Shaver, as I'm calling him right now. He's earned these shots. Last year, I don't know if this team had that type of player. DA had earned that opportunity, I guess, last year, but this is Marcus Shaver's shot. He's earned that shot. If they need to make a shot late in a game, and they will, it's Shaver's shot. And right now, the dude, I love how the whole team is picking up this ice water signal when everybody makes a big shot, like Dagenhart hits a free throw, and he looks to his fellas, and he's like, ice water, get in there, But Shaver, yeah, he's earned that shot. He's one of the big shot makers in this conference that I've seen this year. I mean, he's not going to make it every single time. We know that. But it's nice to have a player, I'm sure, for this fan base that has that type of confidence when they do need that big shot. Everybody knows who's going to take it, and everybody is confident with who's going to make it, right? Maybe there wasn't that confidence factor with last year's team because I always bring that up. I mean, you talk about the 12-game winning streak. Okay. Well, last year they went on a 13-game winning streak, and a lot of people in this town, yours truly included, were saying the same stuff about this team last year as we're saying now before they had that March collapse. So we'll see what happens this year, but so far so good. And Big Shot Shaver, man, he is delivering for this fan base.
And what I like about it, too, is just his ability to create his own shot, and he can do that step back, so he's not going to get his shot blocked, and he can drive to he does so many things that he could drive to the hoop on you so you can't get too far up on him, or he'll do the step back and shoot the three, too. So I think it's been really, really impressive, and you're right. That has been an issue in recent years, and you feel very confident. There is no doubt, and Leon Rice doesn't have to call a timeout, and let the defense get set up. They just know they're going to run a play for Shaver. And Brian Dutcher said it after the game. He said, we knew where the ball was going, and it went to him, and credit him for making a shot. And so, the step back is, there's been, a lot more about NBA shooters and things like that, Johnny, but the step back that Marcus Shaver Jr. has to create his own shot where he can just do that, James Harden-esque step back without the travel. It's pretty impressive. And, you look at all this size Boise State has on the court. He's the smallest guy. I mean, he's not small. He's 6'1" or something, 6'2". But I mean, you got 6'7", 6'8", 6'7" out there, and he's kind of the small guy out there. And he can create a shot as good as any of them. And it was very, very impressive to be there in San Diego 2 games in a row to see him do that. Hey, quick thank you, quick word. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. You can see locations all across the state of Idaho. They've got locations in Utah, Colorado as well. So please support our sponsors. Help keep this show going. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. They got the at-home delivery, the Skip app. You can do the shopping online, all kinds of great stuff. So I frequent the CUNA location often. So Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News Live. And Johnny, we got the question here. I guess we'll just go there. I guess we'll go there. Well, first of all, Jason Lee saying Shaver's definitely the go-to at the end of the game. Good for him. Appreciate that, Jason. But let's go to Jay. Let's go to Jay here. Is it too early to think this is an NCAA tournament team, Johnny?
No, because that's what college basketball fans do. And the NCAA tournament is such a big pot of gold at the end of every team's rainbow. I mean, you have to have some vision on that. And that light at the end of the tunnel, I'll keep using cliches, just gets bigger the closer you get. And like last year, this team was in this position, but it's a full season. And last year, they didn't finish the job. Leon will be the first one to tell you. They collapsed in March. And if that happens again, yeah, BJ, they won't make the tournament. They'll finish 4th in the Mountain West. They'll have a quick exit in Vegas for the Mountain West tournament, and they'll be playing in the NIT, and BJ Raines will be telling everybody how awesome they are, right? That's what's going to happen. No, all kidding aside, yeah, I think this is an NCAA tournament team. There's still a lot of boxes that need to be checked, but hey, man, like I always say, enjoy the journey,
Yep.
Enjoy what it takes to get there. Enjoy these moments. Going into the Viejas and winning a game, going into Logan D. Glenn Smith Spectrum and winning a game, hostile crowds, big environments, like this team's doing that, and if they continue to do it, heck yeah, they're going to the tournament. And Bronco Nation needs this. What was it, 2015, PJ?
Yep.
Last time they went?
2015, and Jay does bring up a good point here. Will the Cal Bakersfield game sink us? He said it's not helping. It's a quad 4 loss. It's certainly not helping. Without that loss, they're clearly in a good position right now, and so that's certainly a game that's going to haunt them on the resume and may impact the seeding and things like that. But you look at every projection right now, Johnny, Jerry Palm, Joe Lenardi. I mean, they're back in the picture. Joe Lenardi said going into the San Diego State game, he would have had them as last 4 in. He had them in as the automatic qualifier because they're winning them out in the West right now. It's kind of a procedural thing, but he said just to know where they were on the thing. If Boise State was not automatically in, he would have had them going into the San Diego State game in the last 4 in. I know fans don't want to hear Dayton again. I don't want to go back to Dayton again. I know fans will argue whether that's really the tournament or whatever, but at least to see the picture, they were already in the tournament in Joe Lenardi's eyes before they beat San Diego State. So to continue to build that resume, they're now 2-0 in quad 1 games, Johnny. They have 2 quad 1 wins, 5-3 in the first 2 quadrants, which is what they look at. So 5 wins in the first 2 quadrants is pretty good. And now you get 2 more quad 1 opportunities, at least as of right now this week. Is Wyoming still top 30 in the net, Johnny?
Oh, yeah. Wyoming in the net right now, BJ, is 31. So pretty darn close.
Technically, it would be quad 2 right now because if you're at home, it's only if the opponent's in the top 30. If you're on the road, if the opponent's in the top 70, it's quad 1. So Friday night in Fresno will be quad 1 since Fresno is in the top 70 and Boise State's going on the road there. So, a huge week coming up. And as Dayton says, Wyoming and Fresno on the road aren't easy wins. If they go 2-0 this week, how does that change expectations? I think it only just solidifies what we've already been talking about, right, Johnny? I mean, I think we, believe this is a team that has a chance to go to the tournament. And the thing about it, Johnny, is they just in 11 days or whatever, they just won those 5 games. 4 of them were on the road. So, I mean, you're getting all these road games checked off the list. Well, that means you got a lot of home games coming up. So it's been a tough stretch here. And if they have a tough week, obviously this week, but after that, they don't have a road trip scheduled for 2 weeks after the Fresno game. And you get San Jose State at home. You get UNLV at home. You go to Air Force, and then you start a really nice stretch. Utah State at home, San Diego State at home. You got UNLV on the road, Nevada at home, and then at Colorado State. So the schedule sets up nicely here, Johnny, where you get some quality wins this week. Then you get a little bit of a reset against San Jose and UNLV and Air Force, and then you finish strong again. I mean, Ken Pom now projects them at 22-7 in the regular season. 22-7. Their only losses projected. They have at Fresno by 2 and at Colorado State by 4. Ken Pom predicts Boise State to win every other game on its schedule, and that would give them 2 losses in the conference, which certainly would be enough probably to win the league. But that does not count, obviously, the 2 makeup games they've got to put back on the schedule at Wyoming and at home against Colorado State, which would change some numbers there. I think they are going to try to get both those games rescheduled. But and this is another one. I guess we can go there as well. Someone's asking if the Wyoming game, are they going to open up the third deck if they close the mezzanine tickets? I know I get on the fans. I know others do. Boucher has as well, Johnny, and I know that's kind of people like to rip me for it. But this team has won 12 games in a row. They're playing a Wyoming team that, as you just said, is number 31 in the net. This is a huge game. They're 15-2 right now. They're the only other undefeated team in the conference. And as we just said, Boise State has not had a lot of home games. You haven't had a lot of opportunities to come support this team in person. Didn't have a very big crowd for the Air Force game last week, but then they go on the road and beat Utah State and beat San Diego State. There's got to be – and they're not selling concessions, and I saw some people saying that's going to be a big deal, and I'm sure on your show, Johnny, I don't remember when that came out. If you guys hit that on Friday, you're going to hit that today. But no concessions. Might hurt a little bit, but what's your take on tomorrow night's game and the fans? And they got to get into that third deck tomorrow night, don't they? They got to get 8, 9, 10,000 for this one.
No, I don't think the third deck opens on a Tuesday night in late January.
Come on.
If this was a Saturday, are any of these home games ever going to be on a Saturday night, or does Boise State just get to play on Tuesdays? That's hurt this team. They need that Saturday night main event type of atmosphere, and then fans come. Maybe they need to pop in to the top 25 poll. I know I heard you say last year they were really close at one point, and then they lost a game and never really returned to it. Maybe if they win these next two, they're in the top 25. I mean, you probably think there's a pretty good chance for that. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of teams ahead of them in the net right now. Maybe that's what they need. I don't know, BJ, but I don't see the balcony opening on a Tuesday against the Pokes. And I think the diehards, they're going to be there. They realize the Jeff Linder factor, one of Leon's top assistants ever. The last time this team made the tournament, Jeff Linder was coordinating the offense. And now here he is killing it up in Laramie. And I can't wait to see him tomorrow. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. I hope to get to that game. Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to where the attendance is going to be. I'll believe it when I see it, but it'll be a nice crowd considering the circumstances. I think no concessions is a big deal, BJ.
Yeah, I want to talk about that in a second, but first, big shout out to the Blue and Orange store right there at Boise Town Square Mall, the blueandorangestore.com. They got all the new Nike, Boise State apparel, whether it's a sweatshirt, a jersey, a hat. They got all the great deals on T-shirts, the official, polos and shirts the coaches are wearing. So Blue and Orange store, you can go in person. It's pretty sweet. A whole store just full of Boise State gear right there at Boise Town Square Mall, and you can go online, the Blue and Orange store.com. What do you make of the no concessions? Did that come out during your show on Friday, or was that after?
Yeah, it was one of the classic Friday night 5 p.m. press releases, BJ. There's definitely some strategy. Good for those guys, whatever. Yeah, we talked about it and took some calls on it. And, certain fans question the entire philosophy behind what they're doing. I've heard other people question, hey, maybe it's because they're short-staffed. That's a part of this thing, too. There might be a few things in that equation. But you can't, it's going to hurt. Some people will not go to this game because they can't buy their popcorn. It will.
Which is disappointing, but they're going to have water there, I guess, and I just don't know how much it'll help. I see they're trying to do something, and I guess the reason is that people theoretically would keep their masks on more if they're not bringing it down to eat or drink food. Maybe less congestion near the concession stands with the lines. And I think Idaho's doing it right. There's some other schools that are doing it. But then the thing to note also is it's only for the next week and a half. So the only home game right now is Wyoming that it may happen for. So we'll see moving forward if it does or not.
What's the water deal? Is there going to be like a refreshment table? Is it like
it's like a 5-gallon jug with cups or something, probably.
Yeah, like you can go there and you can get your little cup of water. Like, is that kind of what they're going to do with this? That's going to be interesting to see because maybe lines will form at the water station, or maybe they limit the amount of people who can get water at one time. I don't know. That's going to be another interesting factor in this game and for the fans. But I can't wait to actually see this on the hardwood. I've been waiting for this matchup all conference season. Boise State and Wyoming. These are the two teams I follow the closest in this league, and I want to see styles make fights, BJ. And from what I've seen with this Boise State defense, the one type of offense that I think might give them trouble is an offense that operates inside out, and that's what Jeff Linder's Wyoming team does. So they might get some three-point opportunities that other teams haven't been able to get against this defense because they are operating inside out. And we'll see if Coach Burns and Leon, what their philosophy is going to be, doubling down if they have to. But so far, they haven't faced that team, and that team might be Wyoming. Wyoming won the other night. Did they score 90? Did I see that the last time they played?
93.
Yeah, they scored 93 points. Like, Boise State doesn't give that up in a week, right?
Yeah.
And Jeff Linder's team can score, and they shoot well. They're not going to shoot 21% like a San Diego State did. So this is going to be a really interesting game. I can't wait to see how that defense plays against that Jeff Linder offense. Styles make fights, and this one has a lot of style behind it, man.
Jay asking if he can bring his own concessions. I don't think they're allowing that. He said at the C of I game, people are bringing in their own popcorn. you would think if there's no concessions, they would let you. But I think the whole point is that you're not eating as much and you're keeping your mask on. So I don't think you can bring in your own concessions.
Or a bottled water. I don't think you can bring in your own water.
That doesn't make any sense. You should be able to
there's not there. I mean, BJ, and you thought the balcony might open for this?
I still think it might, man. I still think it might. Come on. 15-2, and it's crazy, by the way. This is the game that we're kind of hyping up. It's Wyoming. It's not San Diego State. It's not Utah State. It's not Nevada. It's Wyoming. And Jeff Linder just doing a heck of a job there. Was on the bench for 4 or 5 of the first years here with Leon, and just did a heck of a job and was a big-time offensive coach. And what he's got them doing, I don't think is a huge surprise, Johnny, but Laramie, Wyoming, anyone that's been there, it's not the easiest place to recruit to. It's a lot of challenges in terms of the travel and what they're doing with Hunter Maldonado still there. And they got the big guy back who didn't play in either game against Boise State last year when Boise State waxed them by 20+ both games. So final thing, Johnny, as we wrap this up, what would, I guess, this has been for 26 minutes, we've been talking about how great Boise State is and they're going to the tournament and all this, but what would be the reason to bring it down a level in terms of just this team in particular? I mean, they did only score 42 points in their last game. The free throw shooting was better, 9 of 11, but they did only shoot 31.1% themselves. We saw when a big guy with length gets out there, Milad Narmouche can be can struggle a little bit against another guy that has length. And so what, I guess, what needs to still improve or get better for Boise State moving forward to really make this a special season?
And with shooting in general, Max Rice hit a 3. That was very
and then he put his hands up to the heavens, like thanking the heavens to finally hit a shot.
That was encouraging. The free throw line needs to get better. That would be encouraging, I think, for this team. Just its shooting, its execution offensively, I guess, staying out of foul trouble. I know they didn't have anybody foul out against San Diego State, but Deggy had 4 at one point. He was playing with that last foul, and I know Armouche has battled some foul trouble. That, and I guess, basketball's weird. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go in, right? Look at this team last year, and I don't know where you would pinpoint where this team fell apart last year, because I think it did fall apart last year. When they were winning 13 in a row, they weren't thinking, oh, maybe we can go on an NIT run here. Teams don't think like that, man. They want to get to the big dance. Capital B, capital D, right? That's what college basketball is. And this team, again, like Nick Saban would say, you put yourself in a position to be able to win big games and, check off your goal.
In position to be in position, I think, as John Rothstein says.
He loves this team. John Rothstein, CBS Sports, this is like his baby doll. He loves him.
Well, everybody is. Everybody is right now. They're all jumping on board, and there's a big reason to. They're going to go for their 13th in a row tomorrow night. They'll try to tie the school record. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll see you there courtside, Johnny. We'll be listening today, 3 to 6 today, 95.3 FM. You can listen KTIK.com, the app as well. Download that, and appreciate it. We'll be listening to you and Prater and JP break this game down, talk all things Boise State, the NFL playoffs I'm sure you'll talk about as well. So appreciate everybody checking out the show. We'll be listening for the show today, Johnny, with you, Prater and JP, and we'll see everybody at Extra Mile Arena hopefully tomorrow night. Boise State and Wyoming, 7 o'clock. I think it's on Stadium on the TV side, but we'll see you there. Take care, folks.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.